Welcome back to the Python 3 for Beginners tutorial, and today we are going to go ahead and work on a little bit of a project. It's basically just the thing that everybody starts off with when they start to program, and that is a basic calculator. Now, I am deciding to do this now because I've taught you everything you need to know up to this point in order to make this calculator, so let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to make it so that you can pick your operator, and basically what I mean by that is if you want to do add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So I'm going to set a variable operator to equal the input of what I want to. Okay, so I want to say pick what you want to do. And then I'm going to have a colon, and I'm going to make a new line with \n, and I'm going to list the things from here. So we'll do plus, and then by the way, there are more effective ways of doing this than what I'm doing. I'm just doing it the way that I'm choosing to right now. I'm kind of making it up as we go along. 3 plus minus multiply and new line and divide. Sweet. And go ahead and throw a new line in there too. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna have an if statement. So we're grabbing the input, and input is usually stored in a value as a string. So I'm just going to take the int version of this string, and you can do that by doing the built-in function int. It's kind of like print, but it's just turning anything into an int. So if I put in a number here, aka 1, 2, 3, and 4, then it will turn that into an integer instead of a string. So that's easier for when we do our if statements, which we're doing now. So we're going to do if operator is equal to 1. Then we're going to go ahead and set a variable add1 is equal to the input, input, we're going to say pick your first number, colon space. And we're going to make add2 equal to input, and then pick your second number, colon space. Then we're going to go ahead and print the, we'll go ahead and do add1, because this is still a string, so we can combine these strings. Add1 plus, and then what we're doing, add2 plus add2, we're just concatenating these strings all together. So I'm concatenating this string that we did for this one, because like I said earlier, these are stored in, stored as the data type of strings. So we're going to go ahead and concatenate these and add 1 plus, and then the plus sign, add 2 plus, and equal sign. Now I'm not putting a space here because I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to add that to the sum. Okay, so I'm going to do int and then add 1 plus the int of add2, and what this is doing is turning the number that we put in here, and we are turning it into an integer so we can go ahead and do math with it. So if you go ahead and see this, you should notice that we actually get an error, and you'll see why we get an error. It says can't convert int object to string implicitly. So basically what that means is this plus sign right here is trying to add these strings together, or this big string right here, to the integer sum of add1, which is the number you put in, plus add2. So what you do there is you do a comma, and a comma also concatenates, but it adds a space at the end of it, so you don't have to, do like this because it already adds a space. Now what this should do is go ahead and we have 1, first number 1, second number, and it should print 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Great, so now all we have to do is basically rewrite all this, but I'm going to use elifs. So if operator is equal to 2, then we're going to do sub1, which stands for subtraction, input, pick your second number. Now, feel free to copy and paste, but it's a bad habit to get into when you're first learning things. So pick your second. Oh, I typed second up here. Whoops. First, and this is second number. And sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. Then we're gonna go print the I guess what would pop out when you subtract these two numbers. So sub1 plus and then minus plus sub2 and then plus equal sign, and then we're going to use a comma again and do the int of what is this, sub1 minus and then the int of sub2. Great, so then if we just go ahead and test this, we will do 2, pick your first number 1, pick your second number, actually we'll do 1. Okay, great, 1 minus 1 is 0, so, and we just have 2 more to go. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. I recommend you to type it out, but you do not by any means have to. It's just kind of a bad habit to get into. Okay, so we're going to change this to mult1, which is just short for multiply. First number, second number, and then sub. Change that to mult1. Change that to an asterisk. Sub to mult2 equal sign, and then we'll do sub to mult, and then change the minus sign. Make sure you do that so that it is to multiply. Sub mult. Great. So now we should have it so that if you do this, then 3, 2 times 2 is 4. Great, cool. Okay, and one more. So we are almost done with this, so that's cool. And we'll just change sub to div, and that stands for divide. Div2, sub1 to div plus, and then make sure you do the divide so that it looks, so that they know what is happening, equal to the int of div divided by, and then the int of, oh whoops, I just deleted that whole thing. Oh well. Okay, great. Now we're gonna have an else, and basically what this else is gonna do is it's gonna say if you didn't pick any of these 4 options right here, then it's just going to print that isn't a valid command. Now you'll see that I have a apostrophe here. I can go ahead and do that because I'm in double quotes right now. But say I was in single quotes, you'll notice that Python doesn't know where the string is. So how you would do that is do a backslash. Basically, it just says, okay, well now I know that this is supposed to print, but it's not the end of the string. So that's just if you're using single quotes, but I'm going to go ahead and use double quotes for the simplicity of this. And like I told you in my first lesson, they have to be by the same, or they have to be the same symbol to end and start the next string. Cool, so let's do our calculator. We'll do 5. And that isn't a valid command, and it goes ahead and ends it because that's the only thing we're telling it to do. Okay, great. So this is just a basic calculator, but later down the line when I show you guys how to do things like functions and all that, we can go ahead and add on to this and make it so that you can constantly check or constantly go back to it. So hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one.